and you have a right for the government of this country to put you first. And our government never seems to put any of us first. Do you remember Gordon Brown standing up and going, British jobs for British people? And so many years later, when they analysed who took all the jobs, over half of them went to migrants.
Gave a series of disastrous interviews where one minute she's saying there's a housing crisis, the next minute she's telling what's his name, Trevor Phillips on Sky, that there's plenty of housing. I mean, which one is it? And then we find out that in Rachel Reeves' own figures, there's going to be a population increase of 2.5 million more migrants coming over here purposely by Labour, might I add. That's in the figures. And that means that about 5 in 7 of all the new houses built are going to go to people coming over here, not British people that actually need them.
I saw those interviews she did on Sunday, just gone, and it was astounding how bad they were. Now, I can understand, politicians get thrown out there and they don't know what questions are going to come to them. Things can happen and, they're not prepared for it. But housing is under her portfolio. She is in charge of housing in the UK. How she could not answer that question, because he said to her, you've just said there's a housing crisis and you're going to build 1.5 million homes, which is great. And then when I ask you about immigration, you say there's plenty of houses for them. It can't be, both those things can't exist at the same time. You can't have a housing crisis, which requires us to get rid of all the housing regulations and plough fields up and build houses and do it because it's national interest. And the next moment saying, there's plenty of houses. Which one is it, Angela? She actually embarrassed herself completely.
Mm. I'm Firstly, who the hell is sending her out? As you just said, it's part of her brief, this, and she's only been given that brief, by the way, because there's no way in hell they're going to make the target. And Starmer's very happy to let her take all the crap because he doesn't like her. It's the worst kept secret in Westminster. Those two can't stand each other, so she gets all the shite, and he wants to make sure that she looks bad at the end of this parliamentary term, so she can't take over from him or have a run against him for the leadership. I think that's what's really going on here. But her advisors, her civil servants, whoever it may be, should be giving her the lines. Why does she not know what she's talking about? You can only come to the conclusion that she's just making it up as she goes along.
Absolutely.
It was so easy for Trevor Phillips to catch her out. It's not even like he was trying to, actually. It's a perfectly simple question, and she can't answer it.
The answer she should have given was this: we're going to build 1.5 million houses for British people. And then he says, well, you're importing another 2.5 million. And she said, yeah, that's correct. But the houses we're building are going to be privatized for British people. Immigrants who come to this country who are welcome, and I love them and I want even more of them. But we're not going to build new houses for them. They're going to have to deal with the old stock. I'm talking about British people on council waiting lists, and they're the people I care about, and that's why I'm building these houses. I'm not saying that would have been the right answer. I'm not saying that wasn't a load of rubbish, but that would have cut him short, and that would have been a better answer to her make believe that there is no housing crisis answer.
But then he would have turned around, as he did actually during the interview, and say, well, where are these people going to go? And they simply can't answer it, can they? They want to import these people and they've got no idea where they're going to house them. The truth is, and Labour don't want to admit it, that they're going to build these new homes, which they've already had to scale back their targets on, and they're going to say, right, illegal immigrants, well, maybe not even illegal, legal immigrants, wherever they are, you're going in this social housing and to hell with the British people. And that's what's going to happen here. And then the only houses that are going to be left are going to be houses that you can buy or possibly rent, but basic supply and demand, because there'll be less of them, they're then going to cost even more. So your average British taxpayer, whoever it may be, a young family trying to get on the property ladder for the first time or something, will have absolutely no hope in hell of being able to afford one of these houses. But of course, these people, either they do think this far ahead and they just don't care, or they don't think this far ahead because they haven't got the brain power to do so.
I'm not sure which one of them is the answer, because both of them look valid to me. We've been in this position before with Labour. Do you remember Gordon Brown standing up and going, British jobs for British people? And so many years later, when they analysed who took all the jobs, over half of them went to migrants, and Labour are doing it now. We're going to build 1.5 million council houses and housing association houses, and we're going to give them all to people who are not British. And I don't know why they do it. And I don't know why the British public put up with it. And you're perfectly correct. If Labour import another 2.5 million people, that affects the housing market. If they're only going to build 1.5 million, let's say, which they're not going to do anyway, we've already found out there's not a chance in hell they can build anything like that. But even if they did, that's still 1 million houses too short for the people coming into the country, which means more demand, which means rents go up, house prices go up, more people living in poverty, more people spending more of their low wage on their rent, more people claiming benefits because working isn't good enough because my rent's so high, I might as well sign on. And this again just damages the economy, damages the country, but most of all, it damages the people, the British people, regardless of colour, race, or religion. If you were born here, you have a right to be called British, and you have a right for the government of this country to put you first. And our government never seems to put any of us first.